Let's speak now to Alanna O'Malley. She's an associate professor at the Leiden University Institute for History, and she joins me now live from The Hague. Alanna, this is very difficult reading for everybody. I just want to, first of all, before we discuss the details of this, which are so shocking, these are very significant UN findings. You're at The Hague right now. Just pull the two together, the context of how this report and these findings from the UN link to what's taking place right now at the ICJ in The Hague.
I think this is one of those instances when you can see the multiple dimensions of the crimes being perpetrated in Gaza coming together. So at the court today, we're listening to South Africa and Bangladesh and Belgium, and they're presenting their support for the substantial case against the Israeli occupation of Palestine. And they're doing so on all kinds of kind of moral, political, but also legal grounds, citing previous UN resolutions from the General Assembly and from the Security Council that have called for the cessation of Israeli actions and have called for an end to what's termed settler colonialism. And then at the same time, of course, we hear, yet another, but, a really kind of shocking humanitarian report coming from the UN today on the abuses perpetrated against women and children who have been, to a large extent, the greatest victims of the crimes that have been perpetrated against Palestine and its people, not just in the last 4 months, but of course over time. And so these two moments are coming together to really magnify not just the kind of historic dimensions of this problem, its roots in the past, but also, of course, its current relevance and the kind of horrendous humanitarian catastrophe that's playing out on the most vulnerable victims in Gaza at this time.
Absolutely, and that really is the word, isn't it, Alanna? It's magnifying the history and what's happening right now. And just, again, it's very difficult reading, and these are UN findings, just a reminder to our audience. UN experts say that Palestinian women and girls have reportedly been arbitrarily executed in Gaza. Photos of female detainees in degrading circumstances were also reportedly taken by the Israeli army and uploaded online. Alanna, why have we not heard about this in such detail before, since October the 7th?
Well, the reality is that there's very limited humanitarian access there, either for the UN or for any of the aid agencies. I mean, we know how difficult it is to get material aid into the Gaza Strip, but it's also, the aid workers themselves, the people who are there to get information out from what's going on. We also know that the perpetration of these kind of crimes against women, any kind of sexual or gender-based violence, always takes a while. It's not always immediately obvious because those women have to go and seek refuge or seek help or seek medical assistance afterwards. And then you get the revelation of the details of these kind of atrocities. And we also know, of course, that those people are not getting help in this instance. There are very few facilities available to them, and even fewer to listen to their stories and to gather this kind of intelligence. So frankly, actually, what I think we should remember is that the level of detail that we have now, as shocking as it is, really has come very quickly from this catastrophe. Shows us the scale of the crimes that are being perpetrated against women and children, who have been, so far, we calculate, at least 70% of the victims who have been killed. So of those that remain, we know now also that they're in very grave danger.
Alanna, what does the UN, what do humanitarian organisations, what does whoever has the power do next with such findings to actually make a difference to people, to women and children that are still there in Gaza right now and the occupied West Bank, because this is both these areas?
There's a number of things available to the international community. I won't speak to precisely what the UN should do or what aid organizations should do. They'll all have their own mandate. But there's three important things here. And firstly, it's publication and the kind of public attention towards these kind of crimes, because public pressure on politicians in all national electorates, and we've seen that building across the world, is very, very important in motivating a combined and coordinated response to the perpetration of these kind of crimes. The second thing is that there are legal avenues which are being explored today in The Hague, of course, and we hope will produce some really concrete results to call for Israel and to sanction Israel and its army and to prevent them from perpetrating further crimes like this. And the third thing is the mandates available to the aid organizations of the UN and to the Security Council and the General Assembly. And it's very, very important that we try to see some coordination between what the UN on the ground, what those field officers know is happening, and then what we might be able to translate into effective political action in the Security Council of the General Assembly.
Absolutely. Alanna, fantastic to speak to you on this very difficult subject. Thank you so much for your time today. Alanna O'Malley, thank you.